Holy cow. Oh, it got sexy and sentimental in here. But either way, it's turned up. Maybe at some point the beat will drop because it's Friday.
Yes, it goes. Boom, 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 boom.
I forgot about the
Yes,
part.
it is Friday. It is
that
Friday.
Was dope as shit. Well, I'm Jeremy Beaver, CEO and founder of Listen Vision, with my DJ, the one, the only.
Beat up the boy wonder.
Turn his track down just a little so I can hear myself think. That would be amazing. Today, we are talking producers.
Yes.
The senior writer.
Yes.
For Complex, Shawn Setaro's here. Woo. Who has some splaining to do, Lucy.
Yeah, a lot of it.
He got some splaining to do.
A lot of it.
Anyways, we're going to be talking with Shawn Setaro here just in a little bit about the greatest hip-hop producers of all time, year by year. So this should be like kind of a very special, unique episode. But in the meantime, let me put on my reading glasses so we can do Today in Hip Hop. That's right. Today in Hip Hop, there is lots and lots of news, and we're going to start off right here at home, okay? This doubling special has been going on for the last 5 years, okay? So every single year for the last 5 years, but only once a year for Thanksgiving, we will double your studio time. That's right. You buy 2, you get 2 free. You buy 5, you get 5 free. So don't miss this opportunity to get a ton of free shit for the holidays. In other hip-hop news, J Period's live mixtape that we were all aware of, but very few of us actually were able to go to, is now available for live stream and is actually like out and available. Like, it's not for sale because it's like not legal per se, but it's available. So go listen to it. It's fucking amazing. I got through about 3 tracks in the car. Very, very cool. Speaking of very cool, I have never heard a bad song from Anderson .Paak. Straight up, never heard a bad song. His new album, Oxnard, is out, and it's already dope. We've heard a lot of it. It features Q-Tip, Dr. Dre, and Ninth Wonder on production. I couldn't imagine outdoing his last 2 albums, but I love the theme. You know, Malibu was one. Venice, Malibu, right. Now Oxnard, I really like the theme. I like everything he does. Okay, so go get that. Happy birthday to E40. That's right.
Fonzarelli.
Ghost Ride the Whip. So he was born November 15th, 1967. And then also new music from Ice Cube with a theme that I can get behind. Arrest the President. And man, this shit is gangsta as fuck. Go listen to that track. It's a real who banger. All right, so don't be a mark-ass busta. And check out Ice Cube's newest track. Also, happy birthday to Reverend Run. Whose house? Run's house. That's right. Happy birthday to Reverend Run with a little bit of art from Amy Cinnamon and Medina Design. Coming up on, December 20th, The Locks. That's right. Money, Power, and Respect, or at least 20 years of Money, Power, and Respect, will be coming to the Baltimore Soundstage December 20th. Go check it out. Guys are all legends. November 13th, we remember ODB. Rest in peace, ODB, who passed away at the age of 34 in 2004. He'd be 50. We love you. Man, ODB was awesome. Today's his birthday? Wait, he passed only just a couple days before his birthday? Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's horrible. In other news, or new music, DJ Newmark and Method Man have teamed up to create Zodiac Killer, the single. So if you've been following DJ Newmark, he does these incredible mashups with like everyone who was born in May, right? So then he'll like do a mega mix of every single song from the major, artists from May, right? This is just of every single Zodiac sign. It's amazing. Go check it out, okay? November 30th, November 30th at SOB's. Chief Rocker Busy B and our good friend Grandmaster Kaz with the one and only Brucey B will be at SOB's in New York. If I didn't say it before, I'll say it again. November 30th at SOB's. Okay? And lastly, second to last, Master Ace and Marco Polo have a new album. Everyone's Brooklyn story everyone's familiar with, and their newest video called Kings, which is by Elise Farrell. is absolutely groundbreaking, and I highly suggest you check out oliseforel.com, spelled OLISEFOREL.com. He is the artist and animator behind all those cool classic hip-hop album covers that then get animated and like taken apart and then back together again. So check out Olise Forel. He's really doing some incredible work. I'm very impressed with that. And then lastly, the big news. Oh my God, Breezy, grab me my bullhorn from my desk. I can't believe I don't have this. Anyways, imagine bullhorn. The 40th anniversary of Rapper's Delight will be commemorated January 18th, 2019 at our brand new location and the world's first hip-hop museum. That's right, Sugar Hill Gang. Grandmaster Kaz, Melly Mel, and all backed by Trouble Funk. This is very historic.
Very.
If you pretend like you are a hip-hop head,
Right.
and you are not coming to the 40th anniversary
You're wrong.
of Rapper's Delight backed by Trouble Funk, Melly Mel, and Grandmaster Kaz, you're not really a hip-hop fan.
Yeah.
Because no matter what state you live in, you get the tickets and you come, or you're not.
You're not a hip hop fan.
Or you faking jacks. Stop
sorry.
faking jacks.
Stop
okay. So that's that.
Let's start the graph, by the way, for that one.
Faking jacks. All right, so when we come back, we will have Shawn Setaro, the senior writer for Complex, who just a few weeks ago put together a very comprehensive article year by year from 1979 till the present of the best producer from each year. And he was like 98% dead on. We'll also discuss the 2%.
You have some explaining to do,
You have some explaining to do, Lucy. Anyways, stay tuned. Coming up, Shawn Setaro, Complex Magazine. Here's our break.
Listen, vision. DC's #1 recording studio. Listen, vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Back, I'm Jeremy Beaver, CEO and founder of Listen Vision with my DJ, the one, the only.
B-Dub the Boy Wonder.
And on the line, all the way from New York City, is senior writer for Complex Magazine, Shawn Setaro. Shawn, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Jeremy, how are you?
Hey, nice to actually see you while talking to you. How nice.
Yeah.
So, let's get right into it because,
Please.
well, before we get right into it, let me let everybody know the hat that I'm donning is from one of our sponsors.
Yes. Shout out to our sponsors, True Heads Clothing, man. If you like these good old snapbacks, these Kangos, and these fitteds that we are wearing each and every Friday, make sure you holler at our sponsor, True Heads. That's True Heads Clothing with a Z.com. Get yours.
That's right, and I have to, as always, represent Highball. Highball is organic energy, which has caffeine, guarana, and ginseng with B vitamins. When you are feeling like your balls are too low, get a Highball and lift them up.
You guys are very pro at these ad reads.
Amazing. Man, Shawn, this is delicious stuff. I'll have to send you a case. All right, so can we, right before we came in, Shawn, we played, like every single... First of all, the art of the article was incredible. Before we get into anything, who did that art?
Absolutely. That is this guy's Show, who is a Complex staffer, a phenomenal illustrator. He also did, I believe, you can double check me if I'm wrong, I believe he did the illustrations that are on the rapper-centric version of this list that debuted in, I believe, 2015.
Awesome. Well, we actually, I mean, don't get me wrong, your article was amazing, but what first drew me in was actually those images, and we had our interns, cut them all up and put them to some music, and just a really comprehensive article. When I first read it, I felt like, man, this guy probably locked himself in a cave for like 2 years just to figure out like there's just a lot to the list. So
it was, I mean, we'll get into this more, but this was, although I've kind of played a large part in it and wrote a bunch of it and did some spearheading, it was a group effort. I want to be clear.
So let's shout out. You want to just shout out, first of all, how long did it take you and how many people were involved?
This was a months-long effort. Not to say that we worked on it, 10 hours a day for all of that period, but, over the period of many months of making lists and throwing out ideas and meetings and arguments and more meetings and reaching out to people, outside of Complex to get their ideas and finding freelancers and having people actually write things. It was a very long and complicated process.
Oh, you said something right there that I just noticed. Reaching out to people outside of Complex. Is there anybody that you can name that was instrumental to kind of shedding light on some of the years there?
I mean, I will say that some people who ended up with bylines are also people that I talked to say, hey, what do you think about this? I have a bunch of names. What do you think about them? And am I missing anything big? Do I have any, do you have any suggestions? There are lots of people I know who know tons about hip hop and about, specific areas even that I'm not super familiar with. So it was great to have a cadre of people to rely on, again, some of whom have bylines in the finished product.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get right into it. I'm sure our viewers are very excited to kind of like, we'll probably sort of jump around, but let's just, I guess, DZ, if you want to throw these images up, not over the whole screen, but maybe like next to Shawn or something like that. I mean, okay, you can take up the whole, well, we want to talk to Shawn and have their like little picture. Oh, how about this? Put it over my head. There we go. We're going to put the
I got to
pictures.
see what this looks like here.
Yeah, well, you won't be able to see it like through the Skype, but when I send you the episode and it's all done, okay, you'll see everything on screen. Anyways, okay, sure. So year number 1, let's go with Sylvia Robinson. Shawn, before we get into Sylvia Robinson, I want to let you know, and I know you know this already, I told you this, we're writing a 40-year wrong on January 18th.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and we're really praying and hoping that after this conversation, we'll be able to communicate just the enormity of this historic occasion. As we all know, Grandmaster Kaz's lines were kind of ripped off there by Big Hank R.I.P., who's no longer with us. And 40 years later, the exact anniversary of Rapper's Delight, we have assembled Wonder Mike and Master G, and are replacing Big Hank with Grandmaster Kaz, our good friend, as his rightful place, in the group for that, at least for that track. And they'll be performing alongside Melly Mel. And get this, Trouble Funk will be the backing band who actually was signed to Sugar Hill.
Right. That's amazing. You sent me the event. It looks fantastic. I wish I could be in DC for it. Maybe I will sneak down south to see it.
Well, if you do sneak down south, we will comp your ticket. But tell us about Sylvia, who Tony, from the lead singer from Trouble Funk, tells us, kept all the groups separate. So Trouble Funk and Sugar Hill never met or played together.
Mm-hmm. Well, so Sylvia, that was a contentious pick, like many of the years, and it gets really into the heart of what the word producer means. And it means, as I said in the intro, it means different things and has meant different things at different times. For Sylvia, obviously, producer is something, although she played on this session, I think she played Vibes or something, you may want to check that, she masterminded it. Like, it was her idea, essentially, to do a record of a rap, which, I think we can argue over, precursors and, does Here Come the Judge count and, whatever, but, like, it was basically an unknown idea at that point. It was her idea to replay Good Times, something that obviously got her in a bit of legal trouble. So I think you can say that the concept was hers. She put the group by and large together. I think her and her son.
Yep.
So that counts as a producer to me. I think, other people definitely had other ideas about, did she produce in the sense we think of now in terms of like putting her hands on the, on the studio session or, but what about, the things that you've heard about her less than stellar relationships with the artists on Sugar Hill and all the rest of it. But I think you have to give credit to her for conceiving of this idea of a rap record.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we don't have any issues with any of your selections. We feel like maybe a couple folks might have been worthy of mention, but she goes without saying. And I feel like she was the original DJ Khaled. Sorry. All right. Anyways, who also does nothing. Let's skip a little bit here. Can we go to 1981, Pumpkin?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Pumpkin was someone I had heard the name and knew a tiny bit about prior to starting this project. But Dart Adams, who wrote this blurb, really helped fill in a lot of the gaps. And then I did some research on my own as well to really figure out, does he deserve to win, which I think ultimately he does, and what exactly did he do, right? Yeah. What did he add to this burgeoning music? And, he was just this incredible kid when he started out, essentially a teenager who, was a drummer and a band leader and arranged the music and, basically, while the label owner was asleep on the couch, this was the guy making sure all the music happened.
Why are there so many stories about executives being asleep on the couch while the work gets done, right? Isn't that such a commonality?
I mean, to Bobby Robinson's credit, he was running a record store during the day and signing acts at night. So, I can't fault him for it, but right. Sure.
Are there any songs we can cite from Pumpkin that were really big in 81 that he had his hand in?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we mentioned it up top, Feel the Heartbeat from Treacherous 3, Do It from the Disco 4. I think those would be great. I mean, Feel the Heartbeat, that was could have been boring, right? It was just like, oh, let's play Heartbeat, but have people rap on it. But it was unique and had energy. It was more than just a simple replay.
Also, I want to tell our young viewers, Shawn, you and I might be closer in age. Some of our viewers, just don't even realize, I hate to admit, I didn't realize that, a lot of these early songs had to be completely remade. So, for instance, the Chic song, it's not like they had samplers back then. So when Master G was here, in person, he was describing to us, the entire band and musical makeup and composition of how they recreated these tunes, And I feel like...
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And, the Sugar Hill House Band is sort of a fascinating story in its own right, which I'm sure I think you probably got into with those guys.
Yeah, in fact, we're now looking for a director or producer to help us tell the story, the story of Rapper's Delight, really, here on the 40th anniversary, so we can talk about that a little more later. But let's skip ahead to 1983 and 1984. Larry Smith. Larry Smith, man. Well, you go ahead. You tell us all about Larry Smith.
Yeah, please. I mean, I don't know what you can say other than he was, an incredibly important and influential musician and producer whose legacy unfortunately got a little bit swallowed up by some of the changes that rap went through in the mid and late 80s when sort of the golden age started and albums became more of a thing. And the sound really changed. Some of his contributions got a little swallowed up as the sampling era became predominant.
What songs are we most familiar with from Larry Smith?
I mean, I think you got to start with that first Run DMC single, right? It's like that. So back with Sucker MCs, that was him. I think Russell Simmons is also credited as a producer, but Larry was the one who was. The musician who put together, it was his band Orange Crush that played on a lot of those records. He did the entire first Run DMC album. He also did a bunch of stuff for Houdini, including a bunch of their classic songs, Friends, Freaks Come Out at Night. So it wasn't just like stripped down drums and guitar, right? He also had this kind of pop sensibility.
I also think that a lot of people who maybe aren't familiar with the name Larry Smith are familiar with his music, and I think his music is most notable or known because of its musicality. It's Freaks Come Out at Night, or even some of the Run DMC stuff had melody to it, and we kind of started losing that, towards the later '80s when things started becoming sampling and more choppy. So I think it's nice that you guys really honored some of these musicians, because that's what they were. They weren't just producers; they were musicians.
Of course, and I will say that the sort of maybe pre-1986 years of the list are some of the stuff that has gotten the most enthusiastic and heartfelt response, bringing up people like Larry Smith and Pumpkin, who are no longer with us and who maybe aren't remembered in the way that befits their actual contributions.
Yeah, and also the reason why we started at the bottom and not the top, because
right.
If you want to hear the most recent stuff, turn on your radio.
Right. Of course.
And then of course, man, I like hearing you talk about it. But Rick Rubin to me is actually the reason why I got into music. And being from New York and idolizing Def Jam and everything Beastie Boys and Run DMC, Rick Rubin to me made me as a young Jewish kid from Brooklyn, not really knowing if I had a place in this type of genre. I looked at Rick and go, "Oh, I definitely have a fucking place in this genre," So tell me what contributions. I know that he's an obvious pick, but tell me, really why he's on there.
I would say for 85, it was, you can argue, Curtis Blow had albums and Houdini had albums, and I don't by any means mean to besmirch them, but I think Radio was one of the first major hip-hop albums, right? As a record that was not a collection of singles and some other stuff.
Commercially successful, you mean?
Yeah, I would say, yeah,
absolutely.
Commercially successful.
We have the boxing glove from Mama Said Knock You Out here in the museum.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. So I think for 85, you can say Radio, and the King of Rock album as well, continuing, Run DMC's run at that point and really sort of cementing them. But in 1986, it is hard for me to think of any producer anywhere who had a better year than Rick Rubin's 1986, right?
Yeah, no, geez Louise. Go ahead, name a few for our listeners.
You had License to Ill and Raising Hell, and oh, by the way, also one of the most influential metal albums of all time with Slayer's Rain and Blood.
And a lot of people, a lot of hip-hop heads don't realize just how much into other genres, he reached. How deep into, that he worked with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know what I mean? There's everyone recognizes him for, 99 Problems. And the young folks, and then there's man, there's just so much more. I wish they understood. And even I saw the Dorm Room the other day. Have you ever seen the Dorm Room from NYU that they were?
I have not. I've heard plenty about it, obviously. I've been in that building, but I've never seen the room.
Yeah, the other day. I didn't see it personally. It was on a video, but I saw it, and then I heard about, all the stories and the parties and the music and the DJing, and it's just, for anyone who's ever been to college in a dorm room, it's hard to imagine, brushing your teeth, much less starting a record label in a new genre of music.
Of course, yeah.
So all right, well that's a obvious pick. Let's skip ahead to my famous one of my favorite producers of all time, 1988, Marley Marl. 1988 being scientifically proven as the best year in hip hop ever. That's not a NASA emailed me and reminded me that's a fact.
You will find no argument from me, my friend.
No. That is a fact. I will fight anyone who says otherwise. So tell me, oh God. What can we say about Marley Marl that people will be interested in hearing?
1988 was for one an impossible year to pick because this is not my list, right? It is a complex list. Many people had insight into this, but it was hard for me to type in. I thought he should deserve to win, and ultimately I agreed with that consensus. But at the same time, my favorite album of arguably of all time is Nation of Millions. So to put the people who produced that to have them be runners up felt very, very strange.
Well, I think it's because you hit on a good point, and we'll talk about this in a few more years here on the list, which is that one album is amazing, and for most people's career, it's everything, right? You know, but the list that Complex did, and I want to remind people, they had to take into account all the contributions from that year, and not just maybe one album, right?
Right, and it was so it's interesting because it's ultimately an ineffable thing, right? It's not like we had a spreadsheet where we were like, how many hot songs, how much radio play, how many sales, you know, whatever. It was like all of those things came into account, you know, the quality of the music, the volume of it, its popularity, its lasting influence, and ultimately just kind of this ineffable sense that this person was running this year, that this particular year this person could just do no wrong. And that's not something that can be quantified. I think that's where the fun arguments and people having issues and stuff comes in, because ultimately, you know, these are not provable things. You know, this is a list certainly that we all stand behind, but I think if you asked every person who contributed to it, they all, including me, you know, they all have issues with it. But I think that's what happens when you have a collective working on, you know, trying to create the best possible thing and not just one person's opinion.
Nobody's 100% happy with when anyone does a list, you know, but one of the things that changed my life, so, you know, Nation of Millions obviously was impactful to me, but for some reason, you know what was even more impactful to me musically, though? Like, that was impactful to me, like, socially, right? But musically the next year, and I'm guessing the reason why you chose him, was 3 Feet High and Rising.
Yeah, absolutely. That, you know, obviously
Prince Paul, sorry,
album.
we can go to the next picture. Prince Paul, sorry.
Yeah, no, the reason we chose Prince Paul was, you know, what did that record do? You know, it invented the skit. It was the apex of a certain type of sampling-based approach to production. You know,
I take issue with invented the skit only because Straight Out the Jungle in 1988 had a bunch of Red Alert skits on it. And in fact, I think Jim Browski was a skit turned song. And we just inducted them last week, so I wouldn't normally disagree with you, but I do think that, in my estimation, skits actually started as an accident because, like, Rappin' Ronnie, right, and Daha Daha, right?
Sure,
all these.
There was obviously a period at which, like, rap and comedy were, you know,
right,
running
and I feel like
Rodney Dangerfield doing records and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Right. So maybe just Prince Paul revived it, you know, and made it like an actual thing. But I see what you mean there.
Yeah.
1990, the next year. No, you know what? Not even. I'm not even gonna. Let's go right to the controversy. Let's do it. Put DJ Quick up on the screen.
All right, do it.
Let's do this.
I love it.
You already know what we're gonna
this one
say.
Is very close to my heart personally.
Okay. Where are you from, Shawn?
What's that?
Where are you from originally?
I'm not from LA. I'm from the other side of the country. I'm from New Jersey originally, only about 70 minutes from where I am right now.
Okay.
But
so,
I will say
this one was a hard one to swallow. We all admit here, because of Illmatic and because of Premier's contributions, we were just like, it was like stabbing us in the chest.
Well, okay, so, you know, Illmatic was a little later, right?
Illmatic? No, I thought... Was it 91?
You're talking about?
Not 94. Oh, okay, you're right. I'm sorry, Easy Mo B. Okay, 91 then. What about Pete Rock?
Okay, sure.
I just wonder why DJ Quick. I mean, I'm not a West Coast guy, so.
Okay, so Quick. So here is there are a couple issues here. The first is kind of a meta list thing, which obviously you guys care deeply about the list, so I could bring this up, but for most people it's kind of a little too esoteric. Which is to say, we wanted some different kinds of balance on the list. I
knew it! I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. You don't want the first 15 years of the list to all be people from the same city. Or I didn't. And I think other people involved didn't as well. So to that end, you know, I think having someone from the West Coast made sense. And I think Quick actually, that aside, justifies it in that he created this kind of more melodic approach to rap, to ultimately a sound that would take over the world with gangster rap. And that year, he had his hand in 4 albums that were just so incredibly varied.
Name them, please.
That there was Quick is the Name, which is his solo album. AMG's Bitch Better Have My Money, I See Scanless, and Second to None's self-titled. And all kinds of music is on there. You know, you have everything, you know, I mentioned in the blurb, there's even an interlude where they joke about it. They do a BBD parody that is a polka. So, you know, it's all over the map. So just really, even though they're working from some of the same material in terms of, you know, sampling a lot of the same records, they add this musicality to it that, you know, I'm not saying they invented, but I think they were some of the first people to do, and they absolutely perfected.
Oh, you know what though? Okay. You might have gotten away. Okay. But what about an honorable mention? We noticed that in the list, and we'll go a little more forward. That did Premier get an honorable? I mean, not Premier. P-Rock get an honorable mention at all?
Did P-Rock get an honorable mention? I am checking right now.
Okay.
Yes, he did in the following year, 1992.
Okay. At least that's
which,
good.
you know, how can you? I mean, that, you know, that year he had arguably the greatest beat of all time.
Yeah.
So
When They Reminisce Over You, and we have the only autograph known to mankind from Trouble T. Roy, who that song is about.
Oh wow.
Yeah, with Heavy D is on there too. R.I.P. to both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Dr. Dre is an obvious choice for 1992. 1993 is RZA. Let's just throw the pictures up. That's an obvious choice. RZA. 1994 is Easy Mo B. Okay.
Here we go.
Now here it is.
Now we're getting into it.
Now, you know, I get the choice of Easy Mo B. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, Flavor in Your Ear is still a flavor that resonates in my ear, like 100 years later. But explain to me why Premier didn't even get honorable mention. Is that more of the... Because Easy Mo B's from New York.
Easy Mo B, you know, like you said, flavor in your ear, and just helping to define the kind of grittier side of Biggie's first album. You know, how can you go wrong?
But Premier was on Biggie's first album.
Yeah, but, you know, and as far as Preem, like, he was runner-up in other years.
Okay.
You know, and again, this sort of gets to the issue of we wanted to expand who is on this. So you have Warren G, who created G-Funk is a bit of a longer story, but, you know, arguably created G-Funk. You know, you have just so much great Southern stuff.
Whoa. I did not know this. Whoa. Easy Mo B produced Warren G?
No, I'm saying Warren G was one of the honorable mentions for that same year.
Okay.
Why Premier did not get an honorable mention.
Okay, I was like, wow, this is breaking news. I had no idea.
And, you know, again, with, you know, wanting to show love to, you know, other deserving places like Rap-A-Lot, you know, what Mike Dean did with Rap-A-Lot that year was incredible. And, you know, you want to give people a variety of things to read about, think about, learn about. And I think, you know, Premier is, by anyone's estimation, including mine, one of the greatest producers alive. I just don't know if that year you can say, you know, he could do no wrong. He was ubiquitous. And certainly Organized Noise, the final runner-up that year, you know, introduced Outkast to the world. And obviously they would go on, I think, arguably to be one of the greatest groups of all time.
Totally agree with that. And in fact, the next year, 1996, DZ. Actually, DZ, also make sure that Shawn's sound is sounding nice and crispy on the stream there. The next year, Organized Noise did get the title in 1996. I'm assuming for Southern Playlistic Cadillac Music.
1996 was AT Aliens, which was kind of a big step up.
Right. Jeez.
Yeah, was a big step up for them and for Outkast conceptually. And I think also, you know, it's sort of a nod to the fact that Waterfalls came out the previous year.
Okay, fair enough. No, I mean, there's very few arguments from us over here. 1997, DZ, let's just show the Hitmen. 1998, Beats by the Pound.
Yeah.
What productions did they touch in 1998? If
1998. I mean, everything, No Limit. You know, I think if you liked that sound, you heard them. They released, I believe, 23 albums that year.
That's it.
And they were,
That's it. Only 23.
Only 23.
And they all had the same cover.
Yeah, and they were. I mean, you know, shout out
Pen and Pixel, right?
Shout out Pen and Pixel.
Right.
Gotta love them. Gotta love them. And that was another case of like that year was No Limit, right? And they were the driving musical forces.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, very few arguments from us. The next year goes without saying, Dr. Dre for his second debut release.
Right.
I mean, no one's going to question that. Tell us, Earth Tone 3. I hate to admit, I'm not too familiar with Earth Tone 3.
So Earth Tone 3, you do know them even if you don't know that name. That is the production name for the members of Outkast and Mr. DJ.
Well,
who was Rico Wade's cousin. So they produced most of Stankonia.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's... So that's interesting. I guess Organized Noise. They kind of transitioned there in terms of their production team.
Yeah, they ended up doing more themselves. I mean, it was still a collective effort. Obviously, Mr. DJ is a cousin of one of the members of Organized Noise, so
right.
I'm sure there was plenty of consultation, but yeah.
Yeah, so I got to be honest with you. This is, right about this point is where the list starts going. I don't care. I mean, it's just like, so our museum, our museum goes up to 2000. You know what I mean? It starts in 1973 and goes right all the way up to 2000. And then after 2000, it stops becoming, like a museum. It starts becoming more just like contemporary stuff. But I do want to just quickly run through some of the producers from 2000 and on. So if we want to just show, Kanye West got 2001.
Kanye won a lot of years, and I think post the past whatever we think of him now. And I'm sure everyone in the world has a lot of thoughts about that.
We're smart enough to be able to separate a human from his ability, right? So I mean. Right.
Most of the time, we tried to while making this list, or at least to look at his impact as objectively as we could. Readers can judge how big a success that was or not. 2001. This was really when he came to a lot of people's attention with his work on the Blueprint, a handful of other album cuts as well, but really started this sound that. I'm not going to say he invented it. He always was open that he took a lot of ideas from RZA, but invented this sound that, was sometimes called chipmunk soul. The idea of like speeding up old soul records, which for a couple years was all the rage.
Oh, you don't need to tell us here in DC. Oh my goodness gracious. I mean, yeah. It's really permeated. So I want to point out that Kanye West won 2004, he won 2005, he won 2007, and he won 2013.
Yes, he did. He won a lot of years. I believe more than any other individual person.
And I feel, I imagine that that was a point of contention for you guys writing this in the staff, right? Like, is it right that we're putting him on here 4 times? Was that ever a conversation?
Sure. We talked about all of the years, and certainly, boy, he sure seems to be winning a lot, was, these were things mentioned in meetings, for sure.
Okay, so just, because we don't have time to go through, all of these.
Of course.
Why don't you tell us about, what you gleaned after writing this about hip-hop production and where it's come from and where it is now? What did you personally learn from doing this?
Wow. I will say, for me, I think a lot of it was, learning so much about the very early 80s and this kind of like pre-sampling live instrumentation period. I knew a little bit about it from previously having interviewed Rocky Ford, who was, one of our producers of the year for 1980, who worked extensively with Curtis Blow. and so I delved into some of that area, but getting into a lot of the nitty gritty of that, of the personalities and of the music, was extremely educational for me and gave me a sense of like, here's what led up to the Def Jams and then the samplers coming in and the Marley Marls and all of that, which is, the first hip hop I remember was probably, other than the novelty stuff, was probably like, Fat Boys, Beastie Boys, right on that era of when this live instrumentation was kind of ending and something else was coming up.
Yeah.
So I feel like I learned a whole lot about that and about those sort of transition points.
Yeah, I dare say it's something that we learned too, also about like the evolution from the musicality. Because I think from when you have like this perspective of modern day, when you think back on the old stuff, I don't know why my brain just immediately thought, oh, they sampled Chic or something like that. Like they looped it and they looped the tape even without samplers. But no, I mean there was so much musicality kind of in hip hop, basically all the way up until the mid '80s.
Right, exactly. So really getting into that was super interesting. Also, delving into some of the more regional stuff, and really trying to figure out, well, what exactly did, a DJ Quick or a Mike Dean or a, Beats by the Pound produce in this given year? Which songs, which albums, how do they differ? Like, and really having to think about what was new. Right? What did they bring that was different than existed previously?
And my last question would be, after like evaluating this list and doing this list, where do you think hip hop is going musically?
Whew, that's a big one. I don't know if I'm the best person to answer that, honestly, but I will say that things change. One thing I've learned from this is things change in unpredictable ways all of the time. So guessing at trends, if I could, I'd be much better. I'd be much more well off than I am now. But I think there are currents, some of which are opposed to each other, but there's still largely a kind of like outgrowth of, the trap sound that kind of began, mid-aughts or whatever, really came to prominence in the mid-aughts, has become very, very prominent, but I think maybe people are looking for something else, and I don't know what that something else will be. If it will have some of the elements of what we recognize as trap production and take other aspects of it in unexpected places, I don't know. The one thing I have learned about how production works these days is that it's largely a sort of by committee, right? You will have one person who comes up with a short piece of music, then you will have another person who adds drums to it, and you will have another person who comes in and adds some more stuff, or changes things or adds another section, and then finally the artist will come in and their favorite producer will add a little something to make it more distinctively them. It often takes multiple hands now to get, at least in sort of the commercial hip-hop world, for a track to come to fruition.
That's an interesting observation, that there's more cooks in the kitchen.
I don't know what that means for sounds exactly. I guess we will see. But to have this sort of work divvied up that, one person does the melodic aspects, one person does the, percussive aspects, and, so forth. Like, it's interesting. That seems to be, maybe we're going towards that being more of the new standard rather than, one person in a studio with an MPC the whole time.
Right. I think that's actually a pretty good observation. Well, are you working on anything now, like article-wise, that people can look for coming out down the pipe?
Sure, absolutely. Speaking of songs that have a lot of producers, I am working on how I don't want to say which one yet, but how one of the biggest songs of the year was created, and talking to people who are involved in that and trying to get a sort of blow-by-blow perspective of how this, strange, unlikely song became a big hit. And, actually just published a great interview or a great article about the 5% Nation, something closer to, museum.
I saw that. I saw that about how the 5% Nation's kind of disappeared in hip-hop. And we actually just inducted Brand Nubian
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, so they are, I think, sort of a quintessential example of rappers who brought brought that culture, brought the nation into their work. And it's kind of it looks at, well, how are rappers who are involved in the nation now? Do they want that place of prominence in the music back? Do they, what ideas do they have about how to get there if that's something they do want? So I talked to a handful of rappers who are part of the nation now, who are part of that culture, and got their thoughts about it.
And that article's out right now on Complex?
That article is out right now. The How Was the Song Made is on its way. There are a few other things in the beginning stages of work right now as well.
And if people want to follow your writing and follow your work and stalk you on social media, where shall they find you?
Sure. If you go to complex.com, you can find all of my stuff, I believe. Let me double check this for you right now while I have you on the line. But you can find all my stuff. You just go to complex.com/author/Shawn-Setaro, SHAWN-SETARO. Also, outside of Complex, I have a podcast called The Cypher, which you can find at theciphershow.com, Cypher with an I, that has, in-depth interviews with all kinds of hip-hop figures.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And how long have you been with Complex?
I've been here, I just looked at this the other day, actually. I think it was the summer of 2016 that I began working for them, and I've been a staff writer for about a year now.
That's amazing. Well, we want to thank you so much for being with us and explaining the list. I do feel ever so slightly consoled about the DJ premiere.
Glad you feel consoled. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you at the museum and your support of the list and talking to me about it.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much. Complex is such a great purveyor of the culture and the music of hip-hop. We can't thank you guys enough and all your great articles. When I send you this, so we're about to go into our special videos and then unboxings. So, Shawn, I'll get with you offline, but thanks again, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeremy. Take care.
Take care. All right, well, let's go to a little break here with that video, of all the greatest producers, DZ. And when we come back, we'll be doing featured videos. Stay tuned.
DC's #1 recording studio.
And we're back. If you're just tuning in, you're tuned into District Spotlight. I'm Jeremy Beaver, CEO and founder of Listen Vision, with my DJ, the one, the only
B-Dub, the boy wonder.
Hey, B-Dub.
What's going on?
What'd you think of Shawn's list?
Shawn, I love your list. I'm just gonna say that I love your list.
You love the list. I 98% love the list. Maybe now I 99% love the list because his explanation of DJ Quick was what I was hoping it to be. So they just didn't want it to be all New York, and I respect that.
Right.
But I will have to send a bouquet to DJ Premier and some tissues while he cries.
But Lucy, you still have some explaining to do. Some little more, Lucy.
Well, he's splained. He's splained.
A little bit.
Okay, let me ask you something. This is our featured videos. Do you think this dog is scratching? I literally want you to watch this, and I want you to tell me, do you really think this dog is scratching?
I'm scared to watch
Canine,
this.
dog. Look, check it out. do you think?
No. Hell to the no.
Okay, but I will like to let you know.
If that is true, I am coming back, and I'm dying and coming back as a damn bulldog. If that's true.
The dog has challenged you to a DJ battle.
Okay, challenge. Let's go. Where you at, man? What's your Twitter?
He will actually shit on you.
I see with that one little.
No. Like he'll just poop on your hand. Like,
oh my god.
Not turntable was. Anyways, all right. Now, most people don't know what a hand pan is. In fact, it sounds kind of weird. Hand pan. Well, what it is like a metal drum, and it makes a very melodic sound. Now, we've actually recorded one here in the studio. They sound amazing. It's kind of like it sounds like water droplets mixed with like massage music. It's like really chill, right? But check this out. This is DJ Scratch Bastard scratching to a hand pan in a faraway country that I cannot think of right this moment. Check it out. I don't know about you guys. I thought that was cool shit.
I love that. I can go to sleep to that.
I know,
like,
right?
Seriously,
It's really
Scratch Bastard come to my house every night, man. I'm gonna hire you just to put me to sleep with you. Yeah,
well, no,
that's
Scratch Bastard was the one scratching. I don't know. The other guy was the hand pan.
Yeah, they're both of them. I'll take both
That
of
was
them.
chill.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
was chill.
cool.
I love it.
That's a very melodic lullaby for you
very
there. All right. These are the coolest subway dancers I've ever seen in my life. That's pretty much all there is to it. Go ahead. Coolest subway dancers. Oh my god, that's so cool. I dislocated my shoulder the other day, and just watching that makes me feel like my shoulder's gonna pop out.
And that was awesome. That was phenomenal. I'm gonna try to practice some of them. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm gonna practice while you're over here talking.
On the I wish I could do just any of that.
I don't want to fall on air, so let me stop. Go ahead.
You're making boogers come out my nose. All right, that was good. Where are we here? All right, featured videos. All right, let's go to unboxings. Fuck it. All right, we're doing it.
We're unboxing.
Change this. Yep. There we go. Unboxings. Hip hop unboxings. Complex Magazine Edition. Check it out. All right, I already know this is the fucking shit, man. Wait till you see this. I have something so cool. I already know what this is. Coming all the way from Lakeland, Florida. Now, interestingly enough, the jacket that we're opening right here. Oh, I already revealed it. It's a jacket. Yeah. Nice. Good job, Jeremy.
But they don't know.
We're opening a jacket, okay? Now, we're opening a jacket from a producer. And guess what? One of the most famous producers in the world. And guess what? His ass wasn't on that list.
Oh, see, I told you he had some explaining to do. Some more. Go ahead.
So this is a jacket. This is an actual staff jacket from So Def. This is an actual So Def recordings. This is an actual staff jacket worn by Hollywood. Shout out you, Hollywood. I'm sorry we now have your jacket. Or no, I'm not sorry. I'm happy we now have your jacket. And look at this tag. Like
Hollywood don't need it no more.
If you want to know, that it's authentic, that's a real vintage tag there. It's very obvious, just how vintage it is. Okay, this is not new. All right, so wow, amazing. So Def.
Awesome.
Right into the Hip Hop Museum.
All right.
What you got over there, baby?
Moving right along, coming in from Queens, New York. We got some socks.
Queens, New York. While you're opening, oh no. Yeah, so this is directly from Psycho Les himself of the Beatnuts. Look at that, Beatnut socks.
Hey, these feel very nice and comfortable as well too. You know, it's nice and cold outside, so.
Well, don't even think about copping.
Oh shoot.
All right.
He read my mind.
All right.
Thank you, Queens. Thank you, Queens.
Wait.
Something else in there, or?
Yeah, there's something else in there.
No.
Really?
Just socks.
No. What? Here it is.
Oh, it's in the
Here it is. Here it is. Okay, I got
It's
scared.
in the sock.
Zoom in. Hat pin. Oh, nice, Deezy. Wow, we're so in focus today. Oh,
No
'cause there's
escaping this.
There you go, hat pin. So Beatnuts hat pin. Beatnuts socks.
Just
All
don't
right.
beat your nuts in that sock. All right. I'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
This is the worst. We have a bad sense of humor. Now, I got this just to actually walk around. I don't know if this is going to be for the Hip Hop Museum. I just thought it was cool, and I thought I'd walk around with it. All right. I guess I'm a hipster. I don't know. Is that cool? Is it not cool?
That is dope. You're about
Judging
the
by
only
the silence
person
in the room,
I will let walk around with that.
it's cool. No, man, it's not a fanny pack.
No, it's not. It's not a. It's
not
a
a
man
fanny
purse,
pack.
but it's a Run DMC man
It
purse.
is a man
so
purse, but I feel like
We will-
it's okay because it's Run DMC. Thanks for.
It's a merce. Yes, he's officially has a
for
merce.
reminding
Yes,
me. Man, you suck.
we're unboxing.
Shit from the Hip Hop Museum.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. I thought you.
Oh, that is such an inside joke. No one got that.
All right, coming in all the way from Inglewood, California. See, we were just talking about.
You know
West Coast.
what the thing is about Inglewood, right?
What's up?
They're up to no good.
That is true.
Yo, man, my audience is
You
dead.
guys sucked at
You
that.
guys suck.
You guys.
I looked right at you.
Okay, before I even turn these around, I'm not even
Oh,
gonna turn
okay.
them around yet. Just we gotta slowly but surely do this shit. Yeah.
Ready? Biggie Smalls.
Two Biggie Smalls.
Two Biggie Smalls. One with the
Biggie
crown,
So you got a
one
Biggie
with the
medium.
jersey, and sunglasses.
I love it.
That's super dope,
dope.
man. Oh, wow. Dolly My Baby remix jersey, which was actually the first feature that he was ever on, was Dolly My Baby, and then Real Love. And then Party and Bullshit. Anyway. All right, we'll discuss this later. Oh, my God. Oh
Did
my
you figure something?
goodness.
You forgot something other. Yeah. Where did that come from?
Where did this... Did I just open this? This is coming in from the worst handwriting I've ever seen in my life. I literally can't even tell you where this is from.
No.
Wow. Hold on a second.
We're amazed
Yo.
about stuff for the Hip Hop Museum.
One of the most
We're
famous
amazed.
hip-hop photographers and art photographers of all time.
Ricky Powell.
This isn't just Ricky Powell's new book, you guys. Signed by Ricky Powell for the Hip Hop Museum. Wow. Look at these. Let me show you just some of his.
Out of everything, that's what woke them up. But I love it though.
Yeah,
Keep it
right
going,
now
keep it
they're
going.
awake.
I
Look
love
at that picture, Ricky Powell. Look at that picture of LL Cool J. Let's show him some more. These are amazing. I mean, he photographed
Oh,
Basquiat.
jeez.
He photographed Run DMC.
RPJ.
Photographed. Who else did he photograph? I'll give you one more. Oh, look at this. Keith Haring and Andy Warhol together.
Dope.
I mean, Keith Haring's my favorite artist, visual artist. So this is really special, you guys. Look at the cover; it's really cool too. Really cool cover, Basquiat right there on the cover there. Okay. Wow, this is
that a
wow?
car?
This we
No.
ended good. We ended good. We ended really, really good. Wow. Hold on. What am I missing? Oh, yeah. Okay, last thing. Let's pull up the flyer for the launch party. 1/18/19. January 18th. Thank you so much for that. January 18th. The most historic hip-hop performance, maybe of all time. The 40th anniversary of Rapper's Delight. The first ever commercial hip-hop single of all time. We will commemorate that single and the group, Sugar Hill Gang, with a performance. Sugar Hill Gang and Grandmaster Caz will be performing, backed by Trouble Funk and Melly Mel. This will all be on January 18th here in Washington, D.C. at our brand new location called the Hip Hop Museum. And it's also the world's first hip hop museum, so that's pretty cool, too. Our entire gallery and collection will also be on display, so...
Yeah.
You can get your tickets right now on Eventbrite, Hip Hop Museum DC, hhmdc.eventbrite.com. Okay, that's where you buy the tickets, hhmdc.eventbrite.com. Go get your tickets. It's not a very big venue, so we want you to, and it's not that expensive, so please buy your tickets immediately. It's going to sell out very fast if it maybe already is. I don't know. Be there. Anyways, I'm Jeremy Beaver, CEO and founder of Listen Vision with my DJ, the one, the only,
B-Dub the Boy Wonder.
and for the entire crew here at District Spotlight, until next Friday at 5, peace.